Welcome to MEF University. Though there are many telling trends that indicate that education, higher education, is in crisis all over the world, that's not true here at MEF. We talk with some of the most distinguished professors from around the globe, universities like Harvard, Stanford, but also small community colleges. Here's what they told us that they're seeing in their universities and in their classrooms and with their students.
Parents and students, prospective students, have gotten much savvier very recently about picking institutions. They want good education, and they're less interested in big names and flashy credentials. They realize they're spending a lot of money on this degree, and they want to be trained for the jobs of tomorrow.
Do I want a student that has all these different devices to just sit there and transcribe notes in a lecture hall? We can do better than that.
So where do we start? Let's ask Dr. Eric Mazur, Harvard University physics professor, who found that he needed to rethink his own classroom practices.
When I started teaching, I lectured just like my teachers had lectured me. It took about 7 years to discover that my students weren't actually really learning the material. They simply relied on rote memorization to solve the problems on the exam. I once heard somebody describe the lecture as a process whereby the lecture notes of the instructor get transferred to the notebooks of the students without passing through the brains of either.
We know from research that the single most transformative thing that you can do in a classroom is to move from passive to active learning. The big question that we don't really address is, how do we teach? That is such an important question that's not addressed in most universities. But that's why we're pleased to welcome you to MEF University. MEF is the first university in the world to commit to active learning in every class for every student through flipped learning. Flipped learning is a framework that enables educators to reach every student. The flipped approach inverts the traditional classroom model by introducing course concepts before class, allowing educators, your professors, to use class time to guide each student through active, practical, innovative applications of the course principles. And MEF, where you're at, is the gold standard for flipped learning. You are the leader in higher education around the globe. You know, MEF was also the first university to adopt the international standards for flipped learning. And MEF has been collaborating with the Academy of Active Learning Arts and Sciences with our colleagues from Harvard and Stanford and 49 other countries to establish the gold standard of flipped learning worldwide. So congratulations. You're about to receive a great education from a university that is globally recognized as a leader in 21st century teaching and learning.